Today we're gonna have a fierce fight.
Yeah, you'll go first.
Okay.
Name your best. Let's see what you got. The
He wants to
castle
destroy
town.
Yeah. Do you have a sky tree?
Sky tree, which
I'm unbiased,
things
by the
which
way.
are nearby.
Let's go on an adventure together. See the beauty of Japan and all the places we have planned. In the faces that you never knew were waiting for you. Late night to sunrise, we'll stay by your side and make your memories everlasting.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Japan Travel and Friends podcast. Today I am coming to you from our office in Tokyo, Japan Travel office. That's why you might overheard some voices in the background from some of our colleagues. Anyway, I'm today with Anna and Davide and myself, Luca. And we are going to have a nice episode about very interesting topic which I'm gonna cover shortly. Before that, I just would like to remind you that we have weekly episodes and we talk about everything related to Japan. With mostly with an accent on tourism related topics, being us a tourism related company, and also covering different areas of Japan, from the very central and big cities to the countryside of Japan. Also, make sure to follow us and subscribe to our channel as we have weekly content. And besides this podcast, we also have much more content, in fact, that comes from these projects as we have from all across Japan. So you might find a very wide variety of topics and also type of videos. We have some blog style videos. We also have some virtual events which we host with locals and from Japan in different topics such as cooking classes, visits of natural environment, and also hotels and things like that.
Yeah, they're pretty fun.
Yeah, those are very fun, and we have been doing a lot of them in the past 2 years. So you find most of them on the Japan Travel channel, and of course, best way is to just subscribe so you can get all the updates at all times. Moving on now into today's main topic. You know that everything has a duality. There's black and white, right? People tend to divide all the times. And it's a bit like my shirt today, but I just realized it really encompasses what we're gonna cover. So today we are going to pose a question pretty much, which is, what is the best city in Japan, or what's better, Tokyo or Osaka? Which one would be, winning in a boxing contest between the two? So we are gonna just discuss different points which makes one looking better than the other, but also just what makes the other different than the other. We also gonna have a little of discussion, but just remember this is a way for us to just determine which one we prefer, but it doesn't mean it's gonna be the best of all. And I can like something without hating the other thing. Let's say this way. Anyway, as you might have already guessed, we're gonna have this discussion between two of us, and it will be Anna and myself, and Davide will be trying to keep a balance between us today. So Davide, if you want to say something.
Yeah, so I'm gonna moderate the debate basically, and we have Team Tokyo right here.
Yay.
There it is, and then we have Team Osaka right here.
Here I am.
So yeah, Osaka and Tokyo are two of the most entertaining and bustling cities in Japan, right? Mm-hmm. And apparently, we have a little bit of a preference here for Tokyo and for Osaka. So we're gonna discuss a couple of points, or some of the most interesting, I guess, aspects about life in each of these two cities. So we can start with standards of living.
Okay.
So
Okay.
whoever wants to go first, please go ahead.
You can go.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out of the box, and I wanted to say in general.
Yep.
All right, first of all, I don't live in Tokyo. I live in the neighborhood prefecture.
Yeah.
which is Kanagawa. I live in Yokohama, which is another major city of Japan. In fact, it's the third largest city, and it's also on the sea, has different, of course, main attractions and everything. But today we're talking about Osaka. But the reason why I'm not picking Tokyo,
He hates
it basically for me it's a city. I'm gonna say first why I'm not picking Tokyo, right? And then
Sure.
we're gonna move into standards of living
Sure.
for Osaka.
Go ahead.
So my
Okay.
reason for not picking Tokyo over Osaka, it's that first of all it's too big. It's 38 million people living in the whole urban area, which makes Tokyo.
Osaka's pretty big, right?
So Osaka is pretty big. It's the second biggest city in Japan, but it doesn't feel that oppressing as Tokyo it might be at times. Not always, and not in all areas. Another main reason I really don't like much Tokyo is that it feels always like everybody's in a rush, and it doesn't feel that. It doesn't have a relaxed atmosphere which a guy from a countryside town inside of Italy is used to. So
Yeah.
I would prefer to have an environment which is more friendly, welcoming, and where people can interact more easily with me. Especially being a foreigner in a big city, you know, sometimes the bigger the city, the harder it is to meet people. In fact.
Definitely.
This is something
To-
I am experiencing every day, and I think everybody can relate as well.
Yeah.
But anyway, these are just few thoughts I have about Tokyo. I also love Tokyo for many other reasons, but again, today I'm
Yeah, we're
supporting Osaka. So
We're
for
gonna-
standards of living, now connecting to what I was saying is definitely for me, it's a more friendly environment. People also speak in a different way. They speak louder, and they have a stronger accent, which is the Osaka Ben, the Osaka dialect. And this also, for me, it's a bit a personal reason that I prefer Osaka as well, because in the south of Italy, we have a strong accent.
Yep.
And we also are more friendly and louder.
Yep.
So this is
Okay.
a similarity that I have
I didn't know that.
with Osaka. I feel like I'm a person of the South, you know.
Yeah, that makes
I
sense.
see.
Besides the country, I would always speak South.
Yeah,
So-
I'm from the north of Italy, and I can understand
oh
what
yeah.
you're saying.
So we
Okay.
have this
So,
because you know
yeah.
in Italy we have the same duality. We have Milano and Rome. And Milano is the north, like economic center, like more like elegant and business oriented, like Tokyo.
Yeah.
And the south is more for food and history, more for like Osaka.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Of course, different, but still.
Yeah, totally. And we're actually going to get into the people topic later on. But those are all good points. And actually, I have some friends who live both in Osaka and Tokyo. And they confirmed what you said, that the pace of life is definitely faster in Tokyo. Because Tokyo, you know, it's more of a business city. And so, yeah, what do you think? What are your points? Why do you love Tokyo?
Well, I agree that it's a big city,
Huge.
but you can also say that it's one of the most vibrant and modern cities, I guess. And despite it being big and lots of people, it still has greenery.
Oh yeah,
Did you know
that's
that?
true. Yeah,
Oh,
you
lots
need
of
to-
parks.
You know, you proving me wrong. If I will agree with you on some points. If you're right, you're right.
Okay, and also have lots of opportunities like
Yeah.
job offers
Yeah,
for not only for Japanese people but also for international people.
yeah,
And you can meet lots of international people as well.
yeah.
And
Lots of events, like work events.
yeah,
Right.
definitely.
Yeah, in
And
Tokyo.
although it's quite expensive, like you said, living in
Yeah.
Tokyo, if you go a bit outside, it
Here's an
can
example.
get it can get cheaper, and it's easy to travel into Tokyo,
Yeah.
the
'Cause-
city area.
yeah.
So
And also because Kanagawa, right? It's part of the greater area of Tokyo, so
Yeah.
you're technically kind of in Tokyo
Oh
still.
yeah. You cannot really
But
tell
it's the suburbs.
when you crossing one prefecture to the other.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
not big difference. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
so
yeah.
I know people who come from Chiba, Saitama, Kanagawa, like you.
Yeah.
So easy access to Tokyo. So
Yeah.
Tokyo is better.
All right, we have a 50-50 for that one, for the standards of living. Now, moving on to one of the most, the hottest topics, food.
Already into that? Okay.
Yeah. Food. Because there's clearly big differences, right, between Tokyo and Osaka. And I'll let you go first. You want to go first?
Yeah, okay, no problem. So, Osaka has a lot of food. That's obvious, it's a big city, people are very into flavors and everything. What they really love, it's mostly food that you can eat quickly. So street food as
yeah.
well. And food that you can eat in the izakayas. So izakaya, it's a traditional Japanese pub where people go to mostly to interact. So it's one of those occasions where you have a lot of different small dishes and big tables of many people, and then there will be alcohol, there will be these different treats, and then you will eat a bit of everything. So we have the takoyaki, which is very famous in Osaka, and then we have the okonomiyaki.
Yep.
So there's a lot of yaki stuff, a lot of grilled stuff.
Yaki, yeah.
And then we have the kushikatsu, which is
Oh my gosh,
fried different little salty things. It
Yeah.
can be vegetables,
Yeah.
it can be meat, fish, different things.
You
Yeah.
dip it into that sauce, right?
Yeah.
The black sauce.
So that one is perfect side dish when you go to the izakaya,
That's true.
So these are all food that have something in common. They all shared among many people, like okonomiyaki as well, and takoyaki. You can all go, and you can all find this as a street food as well. So I think this really encompasses the culture food of Osaka, which is oriented into being cheaper and to be shared with many food. So it's a social food, social cuisine, and it has as well a very big accent on the flavor as well. So flavor over let's say look and quality overall, which it might be higher in Tokyo, so we will talk about it, and Anna will tell us more about that. But I would say this is the main aspect of food in Osaka, and I would relate more to that. And so, yeah, I love all the Osaka food, and I would say that in Osaka you have a lot of food options. Of course, if you want to go for something more unique or elegant, they do have these kind of options. Not as many as in Tokyo, but it still is quite a good place to go and enjoy some great food.
Yeah.
That's true. I love Osaka food.
How do you answer to that?
I think you can find Osaka food in Tokyo as well. As well as other food, like international food, as well as Japanese food. And if you go to like the city areas, there's like high-end restaurants. But if you go a little bit outside, like to Shitamachi, you can find those izakayas that you were talking about, which have been going for years and years.
Years and
Right.
years.
I think that's a cool thing. And Tokyo has 203 Michelin star restaurants.
Right.
And that's the most in
the world, right? I believe it's the
Oh, in
city
the
with the
world
most
too?
Michelin star restaurants in the world. I believe. Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
And similarly, it's the city with most restaurants in the world. So there's 140-something thousand
Yeah,
in Tokyo.
so many.
So yeah, it's kind of crazy. Have an overwhelming amount of choice.
You can't you could probably not go to all of them.
No,
in your
impossible.
lifetime.
Yeah.
in
Impossible.
10 lifetimes, it's impossible. Even if you
Especially
have.
the Michelin one, you would need to spend quite some money to
Yeah.
go to.
That's
if you want to
true.
go to each one of them, I guess.
But
Yeah,
it-
no.
Yeah, but we have like cheap options as well in Tokyo, so
Yeah.
that's good.
A lot of cheap options, yeah,
Yeah.
totally. But yeah, it is true though that kind of Osaka focuses more on the flavor itself rather than the presentation or how how cool the restaurant looks, or even the presentation of the food itself. the textures and things like that. And I mean, for good reason, Osaka is also called the kitchen of Japan, right?
Oh yeah.
That's true.
So, yeah, pros and cons to both cities, right? You know,
Yeah.
you get a
Yeah.
more sophisticated vibe, I guess, in Tokyo, whereas in Osaka, it's more like laid back and
It's more of a very local atmosphere, I would say. Like the atmosphere of the eating areas that I get in Osaka, I don't get it in Tokyo.
yeah.
Probably it's also my own opinion, but that's the feeling I have like when I go to Namba, which is one of the main central areas of Osaka, which has the river passing by and many different restaurants. That area like it has the little kushikatsu place.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
That kind of atmosphere, I cannot really get it in Tokyo. Very hard to find.
Yeah, well, I guess like Osaka people enjoy eating.
Right.
They
They're more passionate about eating and just
Yeah.
food.
Exactly, yeah. And that's something that I can relate to being an Italian from the south again. So you see.
Hey, easy here, okay? We got great food up there.
So also what I was shocked when I came to Tokyo, it's how people eat now that it came like
What do you mean?
like if you go for a ramen, for example,
Yeah.
there's some people, not everybody, but there's some people they're like speed eaters,
Oh,
and they
yeah.
they come in, they eat, and they leave in a matter of 5 minutes.
Wow.
I'm actually one of them. but-
Oh, you're actually one of them.
Davide is a speed eater, I just realized, but it's
Yeah, everything
the
is
opposite of
fast
what-
paced in Tokyo, though. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah,
But on the other hand, I've seen people who
Take their time.
photos
Oh my
for
gosh.
about 30 to 40 minutes
Ah,
before they
yeah,
start
yeah.
eating. So
There
the
would be
food is
another
already
category.
cold.
Yeah, that's true.
Are
Everybody,
you not gonna eat it? I'm gonna eat it.
yeah, no matter how old you are, right? You can be
Yeah.
a teenager, you can be 60 years old, you just have to take a photo before you
Well,
eat.
it looks pretty, so why not?
It does. Right.
You're spending a lot of
That's
money
right,
if
yeah.
you go to one of these fancy restaurants and
That's
everything.
true.
I wonder, did they do that in Osaka? Who knows, right? I mean, they
I'm not sure.
surely they take photos, but they probably don't care and just start eating.
Probably.
All right, so I guess it's another 50-50.
I mean,
Yay.
it is mostly personal opinions here, as you can see, but also let us know in the comments below your own opinion. What's better food? You prefer the Osaka food? You prefer the Tokyo food? What's the standard of living? What do you think is best? Generally, let us know who you
Yeah, we
would
wanna
you
know.
pick between
Team Tokyo
and
or
Osaka.
Team Osaka?
We want to know who gets the more. So just write down, I support Tokyo, Osaka is the best, and then I'm curious to see which one gets more.
But yeah, at the end of the day, right, it's just there are differences and that's it. And whatever lifestyle you prefer, then you
That's
head
true,
there,
yeah.
right?
Mm,
So I guess it's another 50-50.
yeah.
All right, let's move on to the other point, to the next point. And the next point is potential day trips that you can take from each city, because both have amazing locations around them.
Right, true. I think here
So-
really we are going to have a very...
This could be a very long conversation, but let's just give a
Long.
few examples for you.
Okay.
We're gonna have a fierce fight. I
Yeah. You'll go first.
Okay.
Tokyo.
For day trips, I could think
There's
of
a lot of places.
yeah, so many,
Yeah.
but just a few.
Name your best. Let's see what you got.
I love Kamakura. It's a historical coastal town.
That we went together to.
Yes.
Right? We had a video. If you
That's
guys
right.
wanna see as well.
Yeah, check it out.
We will put it in the link description in the description below, and it's a video about Kamakura, which we show in a very different way from the Risho. So it just
Yeah.
came to my mind. We had a video, so you
Totally.
please have a look
Check it
at
out.
it.
Check it out. Yeah, because there's like temples,
Yeah.
but also beach and good food.
Mm.
I love going there.
Yeah.
Like street food as well, and it's very close from Tokyo, only 50 minutes from Tokyo Station. So great place, right?
Yeah.
And how about if you want to go hiking? There's Mount Takao,
Mm-hmm,
and if you go to the top, you can see Mount Fuji.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I love going there, especially in spring. They have
Never
cherry
been.
blossoms and.
I've been there in
Oh, you've
fall.
never been?
I've been there in fall last year. It was pretty
And
nice.
it's only 1 hour from Shinjuku Station, so that's great.
Yeah.
And well, there's many more like places you can go in a day. But
Yeah.
if you want to stay over like on the weekends or whenever, there's here small places like Mount Fuji area or Hakone, like onsen town where you can enjoy onsen. If you go a little bit further, maybe like Nikko,
Yeah.
where you can enjoy like history and onsen.
You might
as
see a
well as, like,
monkey here and there.
Yeah, monkey.
On your way up.
And like Kusatsu is also an onsen.
Oh, that's
town
right.
in Gunma.
Kusatsu Onsen.
And there's lots of beaches in Chiba, Kanaga, like different areas, and Disneyland is also. very
Oh,
close.
yeah, that's a very good point. But then Osaka also has a very good point similar to
Oh,
that.
yeah.
But hold up,
Be
yeah.
careful.
But it's not
because-
Be careful,
Disney.
be careful. That's right. That's not Disneyland. Yeah. But yeah, and they're all pretty easily accessible, right?
Yeah, very easily
Yeah.
accessible.
Either an hour,
close.
2 hours, 2.5, but you can get there pretty easily.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's buses and trains and
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Can you beat that?
yeah. Can be
First of all,
Can be
I'm offended you didn't mention Yokohama, where I live.
just, yeah.
But okay, no problem.
Also Yokohama.
Yeah, you should check out
Sorry.
Yokohama. It's beautiful.
And okay, I will start with the big, I would say the big two, or let's say three. The big three that you can visit from Osaka would be Kyoto, above all.
Yeah.
And then we have
Small name.
Nara, which is very close to Kyoto and to Osaka.
Yeah. But
Which
an hour.
has, it used to be also former capital of Japan alongside with Kyoto. So I have two former capitals next to Osaka. And we also have Kobe, which is a beautiful port city with an international heritage, similar to Yokohama. So those are the big three. Plus, we also have more, and one would be Himeji, which is the
he wants to
castle
destroy you.
town.
Yeah.
And
He's trying to
it's
destroy
you.
the
Coming to
it's the most beautiful Japanese castle. I think there is no
Right.
discussion on
Arguably,
that.
right?
And Osaka itself has a castle. So
That's
Right.
true.
there's already two very
If you're
beautiful
into castles. Yes.
in close range, which Tokyo doesn't have to my memory, right? There is only one in Odawara, which is
Yeah.
Do you have a sky tree?
Skytree. We
Do you have the
don't
tallest tower in the world?
We do have the Abeno Tower, which is quite tall building,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's not as cool as the Skytree.
Yeah.
I give you
Thought so.
that.
How about Disneyland?
For to Disneyland, my answer is Universal
There you
Studios
go. Yeah.
Japan,
Yeah.
with the latest Nintendo World.
Oh yeah.
Which
Ouch.
I think-
I
Ouch.
want to go there.
Many of our viewers will agree with me that is, the place to be for entertainment. And the reason also is you only have it there.
Yeah.
Disney, you can find it in other countries, but this
Yeah.
one, it's only in the Osaka area.
One might argue that the new Ghibli theme
Oh, yeah.
park is gonna be built not too far from Tokyo.
Yep.
But please go ahead.
I mean, yeah, it's not too far by. I think it's beyond the reach
I'm unbiased,
of the things
by the
which
way.
are nearby. But I would say we create itineraries right here at Japan Travel. We also do that as part of our task for our daily work. And we have a lot of travelers that come to Japan, and the most popular itinerary would always include destinations from Tokyo and from Osaka. I would say
Okay.
on average it's 50-50. So really it's interesting to see the
Yeah.
distribution of time. It would be 50% Tokyo area, 50% Kyoto area.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Osaka, Kyoto area. So
Yeah.
it's interesting to have this debate, because I was also thinking that every day I deal with these different destinations. But personally, I think there's more, juice in the Osaka area.
Oh, juice. All right. All right.
Okay.
Well, actually, so let's give it a 50-50, right? Let's give it a 50-50. But the reason why I would give the thumbs up to Tokyo for one very specific reason is because of the airport. So Osaka airport, also Osaka has an international airport, right?
Yeah,
KIX airport, Kansai International Airport, is that the name?
I think so.
Okay, cool. I should know. But yeah, so, and they have international flights for sure, but Tokyo has two airports that have international flights, right? So Haneda and Narita, and you can take, you can pretty much reach any other part of the world. Maybe not directly, but with a transfer involved from both of these airports. And you can do the same from Osaka, right? But Tokyo has definitely more flights.
And more Shinkansen.
More Shinkansen, yeah.
Yeah, I would say, it's a good entry point, definitely. Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of day trips, again, it really depends. Where do you want to go? What do you want to visit? We say travel to both, definitely. But if you want to leave, where would you live? That's up to you. That's up to you, really. But yeah, speaking of day trips, or speaking of trips in general, I guess, before we move on to the next point, you guys, we want to show you one of our most recent projects that we did in Gifu.
I like that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Very
we explored Gifu's Hida region, including Shirakawago, which is a mountain village nearby Takayama and
beautiful.
Kanazawa.
Must visit.
Yeah,
We saw Takayama as well.
Right?
Yeah.
And all these are in between Tokyo and Osaka, so it's compromise.
Yeah, it's halfway. So go there too. But we're gonna show you a small, short clip of the actual whole video that we created, that our producer, right in front of me, by the way. Shout out to Zaid. Created. So we're gonna show a little clip, but we're gonna put the link in the comment section.
Yeah.
Not in the comment section, but in the description box. So check it out. Okay, next topic, you guys.
Yeah.
Next topic
Ready.
would be a very, very interesting one, especially for the historians out there. So now it's historical importance of the city. So, Tokyo is obviously the capital, so it has very, very important history behind it. But Osaka, has its own interesting points, right? So, do you want to start?
Yeah, all right. Let's start saying that Tokyo has been capital only in recent times, in the last 170 years or so, when the capital was moved from Kyoto to Tokyo. And so for the first few centuries of Japanese history, we have Kyoto being the capital and Osaka being the major hub for trading, for commerce, for all the different goods that would come in Japan.
Yeah.
And also, of course, they would provide, as we were saying, food, the kitchen of Japan, right, to Kyoto. So it would be the main hub. Also being positioned in the center of Japan, in the Kansai region. And so it would be relevant also, it would also be the most populated city in Japan until the 1920s, I believe.
Okay.
So quite some deep history and older than Tokyo as a city itself.
Yep.
And also it has Nara, which used to be another capital of Japan in the Nara period in the 12th century. And that's also a point in favor of the historical importance of the Osaka area and its surroundings, I would say. We also have the beautiful Himeji Castle, which is
You love that
my
castle.
favorite
Castle.
castle. I mean, have a look at it. It's one of the beautiful castles
Totally.
in Japan, known as the White Heron. And one thing that makes it more special is that alongside with 9 other castles, it's one of the only 10 castles in Japan which have never been destroyed by fire, earthquakes, natural disasters, or by human intervention. So very rare to find that. For example, the Osaka castle, which is also very popular, that one was rebuilt. It was destroyed and then rebuilt. And the one in Tokyo, which used to be the Edo castle, it's no more there, unfortunately. So it has been replaced by the Imperial Palace, where the emperor still resides today. But for history, these are the main points that, for me, make Osaka special and more rich in history. And you also have a lot of museums there, if you're interested in this kind of attractions. You also have some historical sites, as the Osaka big burial mound. I don't know if you ever saw the one that looks like a keyhole in the middle of the lake. Those dates back to the first centuries of Japan history, actually. So we can go even back further than 1,000 years to find some important historical relevance in the Osaka area. But
yeah, Osaka is definitely had its very glorious days.
yeah.
But what about Tokyo?
Okay. Well, as you mentioned, it's the capital city now.
Right.
It used to be known as Edo, like you said, and it was a fishing village. And it first settled around 3000 BC.
It's a long time ago.
And as you mentioned, it became home to Edo Castle, which is now the Imperial Palace,
Right.
as you said. And if you want to find out more about the transition from Edo to Tokyo, you can go to Edo Tokyo Museum.
Right.
Ah, that one
In
is a
Yogaku?
nice museum.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
check it out.
Yeah.
And Sensoji Temple in Asakusa, where a lot of people visit, I guess, like from outside of Japan as well, is one of the oldest temple in Tokyo.
Yeah.
And
that one is good.
at nighttime, it is one of the most beautiful sights.
It
I
is,
think.
for sure. Yeah, totally.
And photographers go there to take photos,
One of the
even
most
at nighttime.
photogenic spots in
the one
Tokyo.
and
Yeah.
we talk about temples, also the shrine. You have the Meiji Shrine, which is
Yes.
pretty historical.
And apparently, for New Year's Day, there a lot of people go to Meiji Shrine, the most in Japan. apparently.
Hatsumode, right?
Yeah, Hatsumode on 1st of January.
Yeah. First 3 years of the year, right? I believe
First-
the first
first 3
three
days, yeah.
3 days. Did I say years?
Yeah.
Cool. All
Too
good.
long.
Cool. That's too
I
long.
missed the Atsumode this year. So awkward.
Oh, you did?
But there's no, yeah, but there's it's kind of an experience because there's millions of people every
Yeah,
time,
I
and
didn't go.
you wait in line until you get to the center, and yeah, it's pretty.
But
cool.
anyway, let
Yeah.
me give one.
All right. Yep.
One
Oh.
defense to Osaka.
Please,
You
please,
mentioned
please.
the temples. Let me mention Osaka's nice heritage temple. We have the Tennoji Temple, which is also pretty scenic. Beautiful red, crisp
Yeah.
color.
Yeah.
Okay.
And nearby you also have the zoo near the Tennoji area. And it's also easy to access. It it's around the Osaka Loop Line, which is a bit the counterpart of the Yamanote line in Tokyo,
Right.
which goes clockwise and anti-clockwise. And also Sumiyoshi Taisha, which is the most important Shinto shrine in Osaka, dating back to several hundreds of years ago.
Very, very old.
And very scenic as well. They have beautiful festivals there, and of course, the first of the year they also have thousands of people visiting.
Yeah.
But thousands, still bearable amount. Not like Tokyo, that is like too many people.
Right.
So this
It's
is
it's
one
pretty crazy.
way.
Yeah.
I think again, I would enjoy more visiting these places in Osaka rather than in Tokyo.
Well, you mentioned zoo. Near Sensoji Temple, there's Ueno Zoo.
Ah,
Only a
that's
few
true.
stations
That's
away.
Yeah,
from
that's
Osaka.
right.
With the famous pandas.
Yeah,
family.
famous panda. And if you go across the river from Asakusa,
Yep.
where Sensoji Temple is, you can see Skytree.
Bum,
Yeah.
bum,
You can even walk there.
The famous sky
So
tree,
easy
right?
access. Right?
We have the Shinsekai Tower. I don't know how tall is that. Probably 200 meters.
Yeah.
But
Skytree
it's pretty
is
cool.
634 meters.
Well, yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. That's those are all very good points, you guys.
Thanks.
And yeah, I mean, I guess we would have to give it to Tokyo just because of the fact that it's the capital right now, but they both have their very, very interesting points to talk about historically as well. And so
What do you mean give it to Tokyo? It's 2 against 1 today. Yes.
up to you guys. Let us know. But moving on to the next point, to the final point,
Yeah.
and to probably the most fascinating point, which is actually, by the way, what traveling should be all about.
Yeah.
And I'm talking
Is
about
it?
the people.
Oh, really?
So, and there's a huge difference, as you suggested earlier, just similarly to Italy, where from south to north,
Oh,
there's a
yeah.
lot of differences in, you know, how the people behave, the food and stuff like that. And I'm sure this doesn't all just apply to Italy, but to also other countries. I don't know about Australia, for example, but
Yeah.
north and south, they provide a bunch of differences. So yeah, Tokyo and Osaka, they have pretty big differences when it comes to people. So who wants to go first?
Okay.
There you go.
Well, in Tokyo, well, not during COVID as much, but there's a lot of international people.
Yes.
People come from all over the world.
Yeah.
Also, Tokyo has lots of people from different prefectures.
Yeah.
So it's not just Tokyo people, but people from other prefectures, which
Yeah, yeah.
makes the city very unique
Mhm.
with different ways of thinking and
Yeah. Very,
It's,
so that's-
very stimulating.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Melting pot of
Yeah.
Japan.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah. And people are very polite. They're not loud.
Some would say cold, but
Yeah,
Go ahead.
good point.
but no, like, that's, you know, just,
But yeah.
no, but I agree.
Like for
I agree.
example, okay, good. For example, on the trains, you'll never hear like people talking loudly,
Yeah.
and people have their phones on silent.
Yeah.
They won't answer calls even if they get one, and yeah, just if you go to a hotel or restaurant, you can always expect good service and politeness, even if it's somewhere cheap or
Yeah.
expensive. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
For sure.
Yeah.
So you'll be looked after.
Yeah.
Omotenashi.
Omotenashi, yeah. So.
So yeah, people are generally very nice
Yeah.
in Tokyo.
Okay. Yeah.
What do you think?
By the way, if you want to have an extra episode where me and Davide talk about Italian differences, let us know in the comments.
Maybe in the multiverse, in another universe, we can do that.
Yeah, special edition.
Special
I want to
edition.
watch it.
Anyway, let's see. First of
Osaka.
all, Osaka has the highest amount of comedians and actors
Okay.
in Japan.
Did not know that.
I think this already would say a lot about the people.
But they come to Tokyo, right?
They come to Tokyo,
work?
Yeah.
Okay, right.
but still they are from Osaka.
That's true.
So, I mean, this says a lot about people from Osaka. Very easygoing, loud, but not like out of manners. You know, I'm not saying that they would be not following rules, as Anna was implying.
Oh,
I don't think so.
Saying that in Tokyo, you know, everybody is well manned, but also in Osaka, just they express themselves more freely, with less constraints, and they
Right.
are less afraid of
It's a good way
saying
of
what
saying
they
it.
think. They are also less cold, because in Tokyo you see these people that, you know, they pass in front of you and they don't even consider you as being there. You know, it's just
It's that fast pace of Tokyo.
Yeah, it's
They
a
just don't have
jungle.
time, you know? They just don't have
So
time.
in Osaka, of course, you find also this kind of people, but the majority of people will be more friendly, and you know, if there is any problem in public space,
Yeah.
you don't know the way, there will be always somebody that approach you and offer his help. Or so a good way, which I feel makes Osaka more approachable, more livable, and also more enjoyable for visitors. They can have more of a local experience. So definitely like people from Osaka. Also the way of speaking, the dialect, it's a nice plus. It's not as different as the main Japanese, just the accent. It's a bit
Pretty
louder,
aggressive,
more
right?
open. Yeah. And also they have a unique form of arts that developed in Osaka, as the bunraku, which would be one of the main Japanese intangible art forms. And they also have stand-up comedies, many live stand-up comedies in many different locations that you can go and enjoy for yourself.
True.
That's true.
They do that too in Tokyo. And by the way, if you haven't been to Shimokitazawa, for example,
Oh, yeah.
it's a big theater area. A lot of the comedians, they started their career there and then they just, moved somewhere else. But there's a lot of comedy shows and a lot of theaters as well. But yeah, it is kind of true that Osaka people are more, kind of outgoing and more willing to talk to you, even if you're a stranger, for example, which doesn't really happen that much in Tokyo, right?
Depending on where you are, I guess.
That's true, the neighborhood. Because again, to bring Shimokizawa back into the conversation, that kind of is different in that people are more willing kind of to talk to you and stuff like that. But again, Tokyo, so it's more of a business city, right? So people come here to work, and again,
That's
there's
true.
a really, really fast pace, so people don't have time to do anything, not even eat. But
Some people like that, I guess.
yeah,
I mean,
They don't want to get like.
they don't want to
Get
be
into
bothered, I guess.
conversation,
Yeah.
You can find people like that in Tokyo, like open mind, friendly, and they will be, helping you out, approaching
She's laughing
you.
at you.
And as Anna
Trying to fight
said,
back.
Anna said, there's people from everywhere in Japan. So when you meet those people, they are not from Tokyo. They must be people from Osaka or from other areas that moved to Tokyo.
Right.
And so
That's also why, right? Because Tokyo is a big conglomerate of people coming from all over the place. So there's not really like Tokyo people that were born and raised in Tokyo.
there are, but are rare.
Rare. It's a rare species, right?
Yeah.
I guess people come to Tokyo because they like it.
Well,
That's
They choose to.
that's a good point. Yeah. No, but a lot of people, they come here mostly to study and to work, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Because then actually a lot of people, they get stressed out about the pace of Tokyo, and at
That's
some
true,
point
yeah.
they want to move out to
Yeah.
somewhere
Or maybe
more
back to-
peaceful, more quiet, back to their hometown or
Yeah.
somewhere else. But if you're into the big city life kind of thing, then Tokyo definitely has a lot of opportunities and things like that. But as well as Osaka. But again, to the people themselves, right? The people themselves, we've already discussed it, but one actually cool point is the fashion of both cities. It's kind of different, and it kind of reflects how the people are, right? So like
That's true, yeah.
Tokyo, for example, and this is similar to the food as well. They're more kind of sophisticated and looking to be like elegant and stuff like that. Whereas Osaka, they're more like kind of like a pop, casual
Colorful?
sort of fashion. Colorful, definitely more colorful. So there are big differences, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
So
I
it's
like
kind
a
of
good fashion.
yeah. So it's kind of because like a lot of people they're like, oh, should we actually? Because everybody wants to visit Tokyo, right? Because it's the capital and stuff like that, especially tourists. But then people ask, should we actually go to Osaka? Is it worth it? And the answer,
Yeah.
I think we answered that today, but it's yes, right?
Yeah.
'Cause
Yes.
Go to the bus.
for all the reasons that we explained, and especially for the people, you see a big difference, and the food itself as well. So you be the judge and let us know.
I would say it's a very personal base matter. Like some people, depending on their background, the way they are, they would be more fit in Tokyo, and some other people would be more fit in Osaka, or they would like things more in a certain place rather than the other. It's up to people, choices and preferences and their background.
Yeah. But one thing is for sure, and I'm not saying it from personal experience, but from knowing people who lived in both cities for a few years, that if you're not into really the fast-paced kind of life, then Tokyo might not be for you.
Okay.
As a place to live,
I see.
it is for you.
Yep.
I actually like it too. But
Okay, good.
right. So it really depends on what you prefer, I suppose. But
Yeah.
the best way to find out is to visit both cities. So
Yep.
go
That's
see them
true.
both.
Yeah,
Come here,
and let us
go
know
there.
which one you pick.
take all those day trips that we talked about,
Yep.
and
So
And
am
they
I
can-
winning?
And
Do you have any
so,
additional-
well, that's yeah.
I think there's no losers and winners.
Yeah.
If there are, our viewers will be the judges. I
Yeah.
would say. Let us know in the comments which is your favorite
Yeah.
and what you think was the city that performed best according to
Today's debate.
our
Yeah.
arguments.
Yeah. Honestly, well, to live, I would pick Tokyo because I like the fast pace. I like the opportunities that there are here and stuff like that. But you know, to be honest, if I could teleport myself, if I had the ability to teleport myself, I would just visit Osaka as often as I visit different neighborhoods of Tokyo. So,
Yeah, to me too.
but I guess right now, until we have the ability to teleport ourselves, I'm gonna stay here. So,
Yeah, me too.
but yeah, so let us know, guys, what you think, and I think it's time for our last segment.
Yeah,
Yes.
why not? Let's go. So we have haiku, which is Japanese hermetic poetry. I don't know if it's hermetic, I just made it up.
Different kinds of poetry, right? But
haiku.
haiku.
The haiku I think is the most popular for Japan, and it's just consists in few words, few lines.
Yes.
And has a lot of meaning, so very meaningful one. And this one is from Matsuo Basho, which is probably the most popular representative of this style. He lived in the 17th century, and the one that we're going to share it's an haiku from spring, which is now in full spring.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go with that. Anna will start with the Japanese original version, and I would read the one. Here we go. Atmosphere.
A little bit of an atmosphere for you guys.
Okay.
We have the one in English later.
Okay. 春もやや景色整う月と梅
All right, there was the Japanese one. My part is the spring haze, the scent already in the air, the moon, and the ume. Ume, which is, by the way, the prune tree,
Yes.
which is blooming right now.
The very pink one.
Yeah. And this is it for today, everybody. I hope you like this clash of titans between the two biggest.
I'm sweating.
still
You guys, I'm
friends.
sweating.
JTM
The biggest city in Japan.
That's right.
Let us know again in the comments below which one you prefer. If you like the video, consider sharing as well with your friends, family.
Share
And
the
remember,
episode, guys.
Yeah, we have a lot of episodes coming up for you. And also, if you missed the previous one, have a look at those. And not only this series of podcasts, but we have, I think, over 100 videos. We have
Many.
We have many videos
Go check them out.
that we produce here at Japan Travel. So once again, from Luca, Davide, and Anna, thank you very much for following our podcast today, and see you next time.
Yeah, see you guys.
Ciao, ciao.
Stay tuned.
Ciao.
Bye bye.
We'll never ever end our adventures, our explorations. We all wanna share this nation full of